Do This podcast is part of the Win Make Give podcast network. In this episode, hosts Chad Hyams and Bob Stewart talk with Julie Youngblood, a prominent figure in the real estate industry, exploring her journey from a solo agent to leading an effective team. Julie shares insights into her coaching experience, her role as an integration coach with Place, and how she successfully scaled her business over the past 18 months. This conversation offers valuable lessons for real estate professionals interested in team growth and leadership dynamics. We hope you enjoy this episode of the Do This podcast presented by Brivity.
Hey everybody, welcome. Chad Hyams, hello. Julie Youngblood.
Hello.
Good to see you. We call this Do This, and Julie, we're going to talk about what you've been doing. What's Julie Youngblood and team now? She used to be Julie Youngblood, the solo, but now she's Julie Youngblood and team. We're going to talk about what you've been doing over the last 12 months to grow your guys' business. But do me a favor, as we're getting started and people are joining us, and we still got people kind of jumping in here. Hi, Michelle and Oscar. Hi, Ron. Julie, do me a favor. Introduce yourself to our audience today so they know that who we're talking to. Who's Julie Youngblood?
Hi, and also hi, Chad.
Hi, Julie.
Hi, Chad. I'm Julie Youngblood, Las Vegas, Nevada. I got my real estate license right out of high school. What else do y'all want to know? I started coaching agents in about 2010, and I've been doing that now for the last 15 years. I love it. I joined Place. I'm not sure how much you want to talk about that, but I joined Place as an integration coach. Oh my gosh, they're installing an elevator literally right behind me. So if I have to run, I'm going to do it.
Okay.
Let me know, Bob, if it gets too crazy.
I don't hear anything.
We
so
don't
I think
hear
you're
anything.
good.
You're good.
Oh, okay, great. So at any rate, kind of just I've had real estate teams in the past. I was exhausted by it. And so when I partnered up with Place, Ben's as an integration coach, Ben had said, Julie, you've got to build a team. And I said, Ben, it's the last thing I want to do. And he said, I need you to trust me. And I said, okay, fine. And that was about 18 months ago. And I would say to this day, it's the most fun I've had. It's the least stress I've experienced in this realm. And I'm happy to share whatever y'all want to know.
Okay.
So hang on. There's so much more to Julie, right? There's so much more. Julie, you said you got your license right out of high school. I mean, you were born into real estate because your dad is an icon in Vegas when it comes to real estate. You've worked with some powerful icons when it came to it. So we're going to get some value today, folks, not only of what Julie's been doing now, but you're going to see how it's just been burned into her year after year after year. So before we even get into today, Julie, and what you're doing, I want to go back and I know you weren't an agent in that sense when we worked together on the team. You were in more of an admin. What are the lessons, though, you've learned working under some icons that you still see yourself remembering and applying today?
Okay, so what Chad's talking about is I worked with one of the top teams in the country, and we did about 400 deals a year back in the late 90s and the early 2000s.
Which was insane, by the way, at that.
Right.
Like today, teams, you hear these teams, they're doing 800, 900, whatever. But like 400 transactions in the late 90s, nobody else was doing that.
Right. It was truly elite, and I was licensed and an agent, but my role there was the listing manager. So I had about 120 active listings that I took care of at any given time. I was in charge of marketing, price adjustments, presenting all offers, updating sellers. Like that's a lot. You're busy.
Julie was my favorite person because all I had to do was earn a listing and then Julie took care of it from there.
That's right. And I don't want to say it. I had to train Chad a lot on pricing. But I ended up doing that as well, right? I ended up developing a lot of our accountability systems. I started hiring agents. I started managing the staff, and but the best thing that I got, Chad, honestly, it's funny you should ask that, was I was just talking to my team about the level of coaching that I got in that role and the intensity, like it was if people were to have witnessed the way that Terry Brinkus coached me, they may have thought I was in an abusive relationship. It worked really well for me, but it was like, I looked at my first 4 or 5 years in real estate as this is college, because I didn't go to college, right? And so being really, really open to somebody to getting all up in my stuff, like she would literally, I'd be on the phone getting a price adjustment and she would say, put them on hold, put them on hold. And I'd be like, what are you doing? What? Like, say this. I'm like, okay, blah, 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 blah. Put them on hold. And that was years of that. And I'm forever grateful. And I would say that if the best thing I got was somebody that cared enough about me to not let me be average in whatever I was doing. And it hurt. It was not fun all the time.
I'm kind of snickering over here because we're all of a similar age. We're all like Gen X. And I guess in my head, Julie, I'm going back and I'm like, all of our relationships were borderline abusive. Like my coaches were, my teachers were, my bosses were, right? Like, and I guess not in a bad way, like in a just they were going to guide you whether you wanted that guidance or knew that you needed it or not. So how have you carried that onto your team? Like that particular part of being a leader, how does that show up today with your team? Are you aggressive in your leadership with them? Are you constantly trying to get more out of them than they see in their self? Like how has that cascaded into your, how you show up today?
So I'll tell you what, when I started coaching new agents in 2010, and even to this day, my team, here's what I believe to be true. I am okay being disliked in the moment, but I'm not living for the right now moment. I know you're going to love me in the end. I don't care how you feel about me right now. And that has been something that I think it's hard because we want to be loved and liked, but dang it, sometimes that's not what they need in the moment. They need somebody to say, Chad, your ship is sinking. You don't even know it. And I'm not going to let you die. And this is what you need to do. Stop acting like a wussy. So I know that sounds assertive, but people know that when they get into a relationship with me, we're doers. Bob, we do it. And so we have absolute clarity in what it takes to be productive. We have absolute clarity, and I know how to sell real estate. So you don't get to, as a new agent specifically, join my team and then try to convince me how we're going to sell real estate. Like, we got the roadmap, baby. Let's get on it. And if you say you want it, be careful because I'm going to hold you to it. But I care and I love them. Like, I think if you asked anybody on my team, like, does Julie care about you? They would say yes. And I think if you also ask them, is she really hard on you? They would all say yes. Like, they're always amazed at the level of our standards when they get around other people, which
sounds like a lesson that you took from Terry.
Yeah, 100%. By the way, I know there's all kinds of people on this call, but I just decided with this team specifically, I wasn't going to be a bitter leader. Bitter leadership is when I'm wondering why people don't just show up, why people don't just do what they're supposed to do. Why don't they just log into Brivity and like follow the daily 10? Like, why don't they? Well, because if you're not clear about it and if you don't hire to what you want, then you end up wondering why. So we just got really, really clear on what it takes, what we want, who I want on my team. I want to walk in this office and be jacked up for all the people that are sitting around the table.
So this is like
journey.
Julie, this is something like at the start of the year, you do this once, you cover it, and everybody carries it throughout the year, right?
I wish it was that easy.
Okay.
I wish it was that easy.
This is weekly. This is daily. Like, how aggressive are you with this restatement of the standards, with pulling people up to doing, maybe closing that gap on what they say they want to do and what they're actually doing? Like, is this daily?
Yeah, it has to be. I mean, and by the way, like aggressive or assertive, that feels gross. I'm relentless in pushing them or pulling them to where they say they want to go. I'm not going to let you fail here. Because
if they don't want to sell 100 homes, you're not pushing them to 100 homes.
Right.
You're pushing them where they want to go to make sure that they walk away with the satisfaction of achieving what they were after. If you want 100 homes sold, you'll just go find some other people to add it up to that number in that situation.
That's right, Chad. That's exactly right. Like, here's the deal. You said you wanted to do 100,000 this year. Chad, you're acting like a $36,000 a year agent. You've got a choice to make. And I want you to own it. We can either change the way you're showing up in your business to get you to that 100K, or we can change your goal. Whatever you want is how I'm going to support you. Like, ultimately, it's your business. It's your world. How can I help you get to wherever you are and be proud about whatever it is that you want?
Julie, how are you using Brivity, since we're talking about it, right? So we at least get one highlight out of it. How are you using Brivity to help hold the people to their goals and accountable? Are you going in there and just looking at their numbers every day? Are you sitting beside them and how are you using Brivity as a tool to help you coach them better?
That's a really good question. So first off, Brivity is truly the foundation of everything we do for accountability, for celebration, for let's find some more business opportunity. It's everything. It's all we talk about every day. And it is, at least at minimum, the scoreboard, those leaderboards, that's a weekly thing at a minimum. It's sometimes daily. We meet every morning, and it's not uncommon for me to say, here's how we did yesterday. What do you guys see? Right? Pulling up the leaderboard. So we use that. Every week we have a group coaching. And then for those who have earned a one-on-one coaching, they also get a 15-minute one-on-one every week.
Ooh. Tell me about that. Right there. Everyone gets group coaching, but only some have earned a 15-minute one-on-one coaching, because so many rainmakers out there are attempting to coach everybody, or they're not coaching anybody. What do I have to do to earn that, Julie, so that I want to work for it to get that additional one-on-one time with Julie?
Well, first off, I think as a rainmaker, you've got to be really clear about your role. This is why most of us stop doing one-on-ones, or we get completely drained, is we try to be a marriage counselor or a veterinarian or a car mechanic in these one-on-ones. And I don't know about you guys, I'm not good at any of that. So step number one is have absolute clarity in your role, right? My job is to have a business meeting with you once a week where we talk about your business. And if you and I smash it, Bob, during that 15 minutes, when the car breaks down, it's not going to derail you for a month. When the dog gets sick, we're not making decisions about what we have to do because we don't have the money. So it's a business meeting, right? And how do you earn it? It's pretty simple. We've got a set of team standards, which are going to get you to where you want to go. And as long as you're hitting those consistently, you're invited to a one-on-one.
What are they?
What are our team standards?
Yeah.
Okay. So it's 5 days a week. You must attend what we call a power up and our partner call on Fridays. So that's where we get better. That's our mindset stuff.
So they got to come to work. They got to show up for their job. Seems like a pretty
Yeah.
simple standard. Okay.
Oh, it's kind
They
of
gotta
funny
show
because
up.
we just, as a team, right? I'm always trying to sell them on what we want them to do. And as a team, they just sold themselves pretty hard on how much work they're working. So I'll tell you about that in a second. So standards are 5 days a week. You show up in the office and we do our little huddle in the morning and we do our partner call on Fridays. For the week, it's 250 dials inside of Brivity. You will typically get 25 to 35 of those simply through what we would call the Brivity Daily 10 or the Day in the Life. Anything you don't get, you go fish in the pond for, or you reverse prospect, right? So you got to get 250 dials a week in Brivity. You must talk to 100 people a week. So around 40 of those, 50 of those are going to be in Brivity. The other 50 are going to be through FSBOs, expireds. They're also required to do 1 open house a week, door knock 50 doors, add 10 people into the database. And then I think I said this, clear out their filters. So no past due tasks. It's basically like just get better in your mind, lead generate, lead follow up, grow the database. It's kind of like that's what we do. So we just started this thing. We were having a little bit of a rough Q1. And so we did this thing called the 90 days of gain, which is basically do your job for 90 days. So we're in week 7. A couple people have failed out. If you fail one thing, you miss one power up, you start over because it's about the compound effect, Bob, which I know you love.
Consistency.
Right. And so we're about to have our best month ever, by the way, May. And I had to math it out. I said, guys, we're in 7 weeks. Let's really take a look at what this is doing time-wise to you, because some of you guys feel wrecked. What we decided, or what we came up with as a team, was it was 17 to 20 hours if you were efficient and focused of work, which meant you had another 20 hours or 30 to service the business you were creating and take a day off. It's wild what you can do when you get focused, when you have a clear path. And the thing is, Bob, like you get enough people running the path, like they don't want people on the team that don't do that stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, we see this over and over and over again, Julie, when teams get focused, they get bought in, and I mean, the showing up seems so, I don't know.
Obvious.
Yeah, obvious, but it's like really the start of all of it. It's just getting them in there, right? So now you've got them in there. You get them all kind of pointed in the same direction. We're all very clear on what we're doing every day. It almost, I would imagine on your team today now, like if you start to slip away, it's just this natural, like it pushes them away naturally. You're like, don't come in here, because when you come in here, this is what we're doing. And you can almost look in a team, Julie, and you talk to a lot of teams and you help coach teams, and so you can see, I can look in anybody's, like I can look right at their call activity, and I can close my eyes and I know what it looks like in their office in the morning. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And how do you get people? So how do you get people to buy into all the resources that are available? Because I think everybody here has resources available. They could all go learn our models. They just go watch all of our Just Do It episodes, and essentially the place models are coming out in these things. But how do you get people to like buy into that stuff? Like, let me ask you a better question. Did you have to lead them in? Did you have to be in there every day doing the work to show them to do it? Or were you able to say, just go do the work, I promise you it'll work?
I am obsessed with Brivity. And actually, Bob, it was you that said this to me. You said every team has to have one person that's absolutely obsessed with Brivity. And so I'm obsessed, and I don't make all the calls. I'm literally coaching 35 of our teams at a time. And so I'm just being fully transparent. For me to log in there and like prospect and do that, I'm keeping up with my sphere, and that's about the extent of it. However, what I do every single day without fail is I go find something that I can jump ball up to my team to demonstrate, wow, this database kicks ass. Holy smokes, right? And now I've done it so much that they do it too. Like Nick, one of my top agents, he did this thing for a couple of weeks where he's prospecting Monday. He wanted to front load his week. And he said, I'm just going to call the unqualifieds that have gotten a call in the pond, but they haven't answered. Because, those fall off sometimes.
Yep.
And in 2 weeks, he found 10 people that didn't do deals with us. And he shared that with the whole team. He's like, guys, we have got to get through this list because I found 10 people. Our average commission is about 13 G's. We could have supported a family with the amount of business that we lost that we knew about. And so that's how I see myself, as like the deal worm. Must go find all the stuff in there that I can jump all up to my people so that they can go make a great living, and then reinforce why, guys, you don't have to go cold call a bunch of people. Just call your market report viewers.
Right. Yeah.
Just call your sphere when it says to.
When I think about like the tools of your trade, right? I had this was a couple of months ago. One of my kids went to shut our shower off and just busted off the thing, and the water just was running. It was 9:00 at night. Our water's running, and I don't have the tools to turn this thing off. Right. So I got to call the plumber, and they come out there. And by the way, don't call a plumber in an emergency at 9:00 at night. Not cheap. Right. So the dude shows up, and he's just got this one special tool, and he's just like, boop, and done, because he's the plumber guy. Right. But I think about how many real estate agents like walk into their business every day. Like, what are the tools you need in real estate? You need a phone,
Mhm.
You need to have some CRM, right? You got so let's just call it Brivity, right? How many of them, like, you guys all know how to use this to its full capability to like get the job done, but how many people don't know how to use Brivity, Julie? Like that champion concept is
Uh, and here's what's wild. This is how I equate CRMs. Do y'all remember when you got your real estate license and you got your MLS login? Does everybody remember that day?
Yes.
Okay, me too. By the way, all of you remember, and we couldn't keep you out of the MLS. And it didn't matter that you didn't know how to use it. It was irrelevant. Your energy and enthusiasm around getting in there and having access to all this amazing information. I listed my dad's house on accident. Like, I was so excited to be in there. Like, nothing could stop you from logging into this technology and just figuring it out. If you had the same level of enthusiasm for the database that's going to pay you a lot of money, your life would be different in this business. But instead, we get this beautiful CRM and we're like, oh, Bob, it doesn't work when I do this. It doesn't do this when I say that. It's not like the other one, right? And it's like, dude, where's your sense of adventure and enthusiasm around an incredible tool that if you spent 15 minutes a day being curious about, you can't find an angry, curious person, by the way. Like, try to. If you just get curious about it, you will find things that they'll tick you off because you're going to find the business you lost. But man, just spend 15 minutes a day in there getting crazy.
so you're in there all the time. What's your favorite? Like what's so you
Teach us
mentioned
something, right?
yeah. Give me a something you do in there, or
Here's
like
what I'm
how do you
doing.
go find a jump ball for the team, or like just give me something
I
concrete.
will I'll do like I'll think I'm like, what's a filter I could pull? We've got lots of filters in there. So I just started there, but then you're like, well, what about this? Well, what about that? Well, what if I called people that never log in because they're probably on a different website, right? Like, hey, call these people that aren't engaging with us, but are engaging somewhere. Right now, I know not everybody has Gabby, but I'm obsessed with Gabby. It's like if you could literally, I just pulled up a lead
Hang
and
on. They might not all know who Gabby is.
So it's our AI tool that if you're a Brivity customer is coming soon. I promise. We've got our place partners making sure nobody's going to get sued, and then it'll be in your guys' hands really soon.
well,
Keep
so
going, Julie.
can I talk? Okay, so right
Sure.
now, my current obsession is I pull up Chad Hyams and I go to Gabby and I say, Gabby, what can I say to Chad to get him to call me back? And she tells me, Bob, today she said this, no, it wasn't Chad, but she said, send him these two properties. This is a lot like what he's been looking at. Oh, what? I'm like, how could you can't tell me you don't know what to say to a lead anymore. And so that's the kind of stuff I'm constantly obsessed with. Like you showed me that, Bob. I'm using it now. I went to individually to everybody on the team. I'm like, guys, you got to check this out. Let me know what you learned. Let me know how it goes. And then
Here, can I hear real quick because you're talking about filters, and I love going in the filters. Like I really do think inside of Brivity, Julie, there's the dialer. Is your team using the dialer? Like, do your guys get on there? Yeah, duh,
dude,
right. The
duh.
dialer will 10x the number of phone calls you can make into your business. And I'm telling you right now, the contacts, like if you just talk to more people in your real estate business, you will find more transactions. So the dialer's number one. The filter to me is like secret weapon number two. I
Yeah.
say this all the time. Here's one of my favorite. Go in and run a filter for communication, has received a phone call,
Mm-hmm.
okay, where the outcome was talked to all time. I want you guys to pull into your database people that all time you've logged a call where you talked to them, right? And so you're going to have some, 1,000, 2,000, 3,000 Julie in your database, however many it is. And
Yeah.
then put them in order by last interaction to the
Mhm.
oldest. So go find the person in your database that at some point you talked to, but it's been the longest that you've talked to them, right? You're going to see, I can tell people how long they've had Brivity by doing that filter because I'll find people they talked to the very first month they had Brivity when they were all excited, Julie, and they were logging all their stuff and they were doing it right. And they've never followed up with that lead since 3 years later.
Yeah, it's crazy. You just
That's
got to
my
get
favorite
excited. You got to
filter.
get excited about the filters are great. And like I said, just be a nerd in there.
Just be a nerd. I love that.
Get
I
nerdy.
love that. Where are you finding some jump balls? Give me. You said every once in a while I'm going in there and find. Is that your market report viewers? Is that your
Um,
website visitors? Is that
Well, you all have made it so easy with the activity feed now. So I'm the featured agent inside of the pond. So if someone looks at a property 3 times, to me, I'm like, hey, I just had a buyer look at a property 3 times. Who can call now? By the way, my agents they're fighting over that. I just put it in Slack. There's like knives coming out, emojis, skulls, like whoever gets it first gets it. And then they have to report back. Right. So I had one time where nobody took it. And I said, okay, fine, I'm gonna take it. I set 3 listing appointments with the one guy. Hey guys, you missed out on this one. I took him, set 3 listing appointments, his 3 houses to sell. And so that's where I'm finding it mostly is in the activity feed. Right now is a good spot. And then we have Gabby, so she tees some stuff up for us for time to time.
Okay. In the last few minutes, I mean, you've made it very clear. Anybody on this call, right? Somebody on your team needs to be ridiculously passionate about Brivity the way Julie is talking about and showing you. Yet I want to go to that morning meeting that you do every day, the power up session. Break it down. How long does it take? What do you cover? Talk about the power up because we all need to start our day on the right foot. And that's the way to start our business world on the right foot.
Okay, so here's how we run it. No more than 30 minutes, and it's called a power up for a reason. These guys should leave jacked, okay? This is not where I'm going to teach them or beat them up on anything. I'm not teaching them how to enter a lead. I'm not doing that stuff. I'm really clear about that. That's why we have training. So they show up. We always start with gratitudes or victories. Sometimes I have these really crazy questions. I'll ask a crazy question. We'll do something fun to kind of break the ice.
Wait, give me an example of a crazy question.
Favorite topping on a pizza, Bob Stewart?
Yeah. If some of the
Sausage and mushrooms.
one of my favorite, I've asked this a
Did
few.
you just ooh me? Did you just go
Yeah,
ooh?
I did. I've asked this
On the sausage or the mushrooms?
Wait, Bob, I got to give this good question out.
Okay, sorry.
But I did make a promise to myself like 4 years ago that if it comes with mushrooms, I'll eat the mushrooms because the chef must know what they're doing. And it's been all right, but I'm not going to just eat mushrooms.
Okay.
Okay.
I can respect that.
I asked this one not too long ago and actually brought some good change. I said, if there was one thing you could change about our team, what would it be? And it was pretty interesting. And obviously you can't get defensive, which is, I mean, I might want to fight people from time to time, but it was really, really cool to see what they would change. And then, what do you think we do really well? Where do you think our biggest challenge is going to be? Stuff like that.
Okay.
And then sometimes some fun ones.
See, Chad, it wasn't stuff like, what's your favorite pizza?
Sometimes some fun ones.
It is sometimes stuff like that too. Like, what's the weirdest place you've ever been on a date? Stuff like that.
Got it.
We start with gratitudes. That's always fun. And then I usually have about 10 minutes of nugget. Okay. If I need to, sometimes the gratitudes lead us down a bunny trail, which is totally fine, right? It's like, it's their time. We always save some time for role play. So I usually have a script picked out and it's rapid fire. And then we pull up our leaderboard for yesterday. And I say, here's how we did. How are you all feeling about it? What do you see when you look at it? I'm always asking them what they see because if they can read the leaderboard, then they can go fix their leaderboard. Also, transparency in the group is very important to me. When someone quits the team, it's inevitable. It's almost always going to be the person at the bottom of the leaderboard. And I need people to understand and see that. People that are winning are not quitting for the most part. And there's a lot of peer accountability, which by the way, peer accountability is way more powerful than Julie stepping in and saying, come on, Chad. When Nick goes to Chad and says, hey man, I see you're slacking on your numbers. Like, why don't you sit next to me today? And I'll make sure that you don't get distracted.
That sounds like you've got a couple developing leaders in your organization. If somebody like a Nick is saying, hey, come ride next to me today, like that must be very satisfying for you to kind of look around and see that happening.
it's empowering to them. They want to be leaders. I mean, what we teach is I want them to grow their own team. That's the whole point of my team, is not that you'll stay on my team forever, but that you will run through our opportunity model and build your own team, which means we got to start that now. We got to start those leadership skills now. So it's not uncommon that I just had Chase come up to me. He's like, hey, do you think we could do because we do walking power-ups every now and then. He's like, can we do the whole power-up walking? I said, we sure can, Chase, and you're in charge of it. And he was like, okay. I said, let me know if you need any support. I'll be there on time. And he ran the whole power-up.
Love that.
When you're looking at the scoreboard,
Yeah.
to get one more question here, one of the things that Bob and I have heard a lot recently from other leaders on this, or from some of the people we've interviewed, helping on culture over on our podcast, are you showing a leaderboard of your team so they know how they're standing against each other, or are you uniting them and showing them a leaderboard against the other teams in the same city or state or whatever, so they can see where they're ranking against some of the others around the country?
We are against ourselves. It's against ourselves. I mean, I guess they could look and see how we compare to Brivity or other place users, and they do that occasionally, but I don't necessarily promote that. For us, I'm like, whoa, you talked to this many people and you set that many appointments. What were you saying? Whoa, you did that many dials and nobody answered. How long is it ringing? Right. So we use it internally to get better and then to push each other.
Yo, your team is on fire. Eric's even on here with 1,000 dials in the last 30 days. Like,
that's my husband.
I know.
By the way, I know you know. He is the hardest for me to get moving, but I put him on the scoreboard because we ain't got time for that.
Yeah, I mean, this is amazing. You got one kid that set 15 appointments in the last 30 days, another one with 10 and 9 and 8. Holy cow.
See, folks, be careful. Bob's always watching.
Julie Youngblood, thank you so much. You got lots of stuff. You got 30 teams you coach, or however many it is, a team you're running, and you still sell real estate and do all the stuff. Thanks for joining us. I appreciate it. This is a super valuable half hour for us, and we appreciate your time. We'll see you guys next week.
Bye guys.
Bye.